What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the airport. Welcome back to a brand new video, man. Listen, I'm just very, very, very frustrated right now, as I know most of you guys probably are as well. This was the worst loss of the season. I know we only lost by 2 points, but in a game that we had to win, it was a must win. I don't care that there's still 5 or 4 more or whatever, how many ever games left in the season. This was a must win. This was an absolute must win. And the Pacers just came out from minute 1, and I don't think the Heat ever led in that game. They did not lead once. And it's just really frustrating just to see, like, whenever we have a game that, like, okay, this is the game that we can win. We can cement ourselves in that 6th seed spot. We could have done it a couple of nights ago against Philly. We could have cemented ourselves at number 6 against Philly. Tonight, we had another opportunity to cement ourselves at number 6, and this game was huge. The magnitude of this game. Number 1, the Heat and the Pacers are separated by half a game, or were separated by half a game until tonight. The Heat, if they had won tonight, would have had a lead over the Pacers in the standings by a half a game, would have had a tiebreaker over the Pacers because the series between the Pacers and the Heat in the season was 1-1 so far. Whoever won this game would have had the season series, and this would have had the 3-way tiebreaker or whatever between the Heat, Pacers, and Sixers. Whoever won this game would hold that as well. So all of that was at stake today. All of that was at stake today. A playoff spot was potentially at stake today. And we came out and played like we were just going through the motions. Second half, okay, cool. They fought back. You know, it was very predictable. It was very predictable. They would start turning it on after they were down by 20, as they do every single game. For some reason, they play better when they're down 20 than when they do when they're up 20. It baffles me. And it's so predictable. It's so predictable. I was actually foolish enough to believe that we would start off hot against this team. I was like, you know what? It's a must-win game. I know, you know, regular season, we've been like on and off in these games, but I know that in the playoffs, which I know is not the playoffs right now, but in playoff type atmospheres, in a game that is gonna determine playoff seeding and positioning and determining who's gonna avoid the play-in, I was like, okay, if it's gonna be this much at stake, you would expect a team that just went to the NBA Finals last season. This team that we're playing right now did not even make the playoffs. And they were the team playing with that experience, as if they had gone to the finals. And we were a team who just looked like it was our first time in a big game, which is baffling because this is clearly not the first big game this team has been in. Clearly not. This performance tonight by the Heat in the first half, forget the second half. Okay, they came back. So what? They didn't win. Okay, we're gonna start getting. I'm tired of moral victories about, oh my gosh, they fought their way back, gritty Heat culture, this, that. Bro, forget that. Bump that nonsense. We lost the game. Okay, whatever moral victories you guys have, I don't want to hear it. The first half was abysmal. It was one of the worst halves I've ever seen in this season. The first half was so bad that at a certain point in the second quarter, we were down by 21 points. Coming into the game, the Miami Heat had the 3rd-ranked defense in the NBA. The Pacers had one of the worst defenses in the NBA. They held us to 40-something points in the half, and we, I think, had them score 62 plus. The effort level in the first half was abysmal. Abysmal, like zero excuse. I don't care what excuse like the guys might make. I don't care what Spoelstra or Jimmy say in the press conference. I can already say, guys, as soon as this game ended, I just turned it off and I went out and I came back. I didn't even read anything that Spo or Jimmy said in the press conference. I swear to you guys, I did not read one thing that anybody said. Any of the players, any of the coaches, any of the fans. I literally just turned off the game, after it was done, and then went out to do whatever I had to do, run some errands, and then come back, and now I'm recording this video. Listen, basically, this is what Spo is gonna say. Our guys love these atmospheres. They live for this type of moments. That's what this is all about. This, that. Jimmy's gonna be like, it's on us. We have to get it done. We have no one to blame but ourselves. We have no excuses. And they say all these things every single game that we lose. But it's like they don't back it up. You get a response, like how we responded against the Rockets. We blew the Rockets out in the second half. But then we'll go back to playing the same brand of Heat basketball that got us to this point where we're in the play-in right now. This loss. Again, I'm not going to say the season is over or whatnot, because it's not. It is not. But I hate the way this team responds and plays when we have a big game. It is almost like this team wants to make it harder on themselves. They want to, for some reason, they want to be in the play-in. I don't know why. Like, it just seems that way to me. Like, y'all know you guys can solidify. I'm not saying we would have clinched the playoff spot with the win, but it would have been pretty close, because after that, we still play a team like Toronto twice, Atlanta, who are both, subpar teams under 500. The only good team we play remaining is Dallas. So if we had won tonight, the 6th seed was basically locked up. But in Heat fashion, we come out and lay an absolute egg, and we make it harder on ourselves, and we're stuck at 7 now. And the Sixers are right on our tails at 8. Now, again, 7 and 8 don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, because those two teams are going to be playing each other in the play-in regardless of who's 7 and who's 8. If the schedule stays the standings stay how it is right now, I don't think the Pacers are going to drop their spot now. I mean, they play Toronto, I think. I don't know who else they play. I think they might play Atlanta. I think they might play Cleveland, and they probably play somebody else bad. I don't think the Pacers will fall. I really don't. I think the Pacers will keep that 6th spot. So we're probably going to play the Sixers in the play-in. All that is fine. Whoever's 7, whoever's 8. If we lose that play-in game, you're looking at a first-round matchup with the Boston Celtics, when we could have had a first-round matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. If you lose that play-in game, the best you can hope for is the 8th seed. Now, if you win the play-in game, that's fine. You're the 7th seed. Okay, that's fine. We play Milwaukee. I don't really like Milwaukee's team that much. I think they're an overrated team. And I think we can beat them in a series. So, but Milwaukee is still not a bad outcome. But for that to happen, and this is all assuming that we're going to be in the play-in, because I think we are going to be now. Because we lost this game, I just don't think we're going to be at the 6th seed anymore. I think this game was determining who was going to be the 6th seed. I know there's still 4 or 5 games left, but this was the game to me that was like, okay, unless the Pacers just implode somehow, I just don't see us, coming back up to 6. I really don't. This was our opportunity and we blew it. That's fine. We just got to take what we have right now. At best, in my opinion, we're going to be playing Milwaukee. At worst, we're going to be out of the playoffs completely, because if we're in the play-in, you have a chance to be knocked out by Philly and knocked out by either Chicago or Atlanta, whoever wins that play-in game. So if we lose that first play-in game, the best we can do is fight to get a series against Boston, who's been the best team in the East. And I know we beat them last year, but they have a different team, and so do we. It's not all on, history and stuff like that. It's a news, and they swept us in the season series. So I don't care what anybody says. Boston is not a good matchup as compared to any other team in the East. I'm not saying we can't beat Boston, but they're the worst matchup for us in the East for sure. Milwaukee, not a bad matchup. I think Cleveland's the best matchup though. I think Cleveland, I understand they have size, but we dealt with Cleveland so well in the regular season. We handled them. Apart from that one game where we blew like a huge lead and they won, we played Cleveland extremely well. And we played Milwaukee pretty well too. But I just feel like Cleveland is just a team that I just feel like they're the most pretender team in the NBA. So you could have had a chance to play Cleveland. Then you could have had a chance to play Milwaukee. I don't know, man. I really think that Cleveland would have been the easiest matchup of all. And the whole like, forget all the whole thing about matchups and stuff. You just don't want to play a playing game, man. In a playing game, anything can happen. I mean, we lost the first playing game last year to Atlanta. Everyone thought we were going to win that one. And Philly just beat us. And Philly's a good team. Philly's a really good team with Embiid back. They're not a bad team at all. Philly, I believe, is a top 4 team in the East when healthy. So you're telling me we're going to have to go beat Philly? And then if we lose to Philly, we're going to have to play another playing game to potentially face Boston? Like, the road is just so much harder now. And I think that's what it's going to be. I don't really see the Heat climbing back up to 6. I would love to be wrong. I would love for the Pacers to just go out and just completely just like play terrible basketball against Toronto and Cleveland and Atlanta and then whoever else they play next. I hope they do that. I just don't see it happening, though. This was the chance, and we blew it, man. Unfortunately, we blew it. And you can't look at anybody besides this team. Like, we can't blame anybody besides ourselves. There's no excuses. We were fully healthy. We had everybody. I know Jay Rich is out, but I mean he's been out. We already knew he's gonna be out this season. Apart from him, everybody else is playing. Everybody was there. I mean, TJ McConnell. I understand this guy does this regularly against his team, but he had the easiest shots every single time. Wide open floater, wide open pull-up shot, wide open mid-range shot, wide open runner. They were just getting open shot after open shot after open shot. And it's like we just forgot how to play defense for a whole half. The second half, at least, we turned it up a little bit. But the first half was atrocious, man. I don't even talk about the stats for the game. But the stats are we shot 29% from 3. And we didn't guard anybody. But it's not like they were hitting threes lights out. They only shot 28%. We were in that game because we got to the line. And we stifled their offense in the second half because they couldn't hit threes in the second half. In the first half, they were hitting a bunch of threes. Second half, they couldn't. So that was why we came back into the game. And then Jimmy went to the line a couple times. Bam. They started attacking. I thought Jovic was stellar tonight. I thought Jovic was really good. But yeah, I mean, the first half really set the tone for this game. Because I thought in the second half we played really good basketball. I thought we did, you know. And I thought from the second quarter onwards, actually, because they only really scored the most amount of points in a quarter in the first quarter. Because the second, third, and fourth quarters, they scored about 26 in each of those quarters, which is fine. 26 a quarter is good to hold the opposition, especially because they're a really good offense. But 38 points in a quarter and you only scored 24 in the first, it's just not getting it done. And on top of that, it's not like the offense was doing anything either, because they were struggling from 3. Like, they couldn't hit anything. And it's like, when they're not hitting threes, they just don't seem to have a backup plan. It's like when they're not hitting threes, they can't do anything. I mean, I'm not sure what's been going on with Duncan Robinson. I really don't. I know he just came off a back injury, but his shot is gone for now. He's just not hitting his shots, man. 0 for 4 from 3 this game. Last game he was 2 for 5. The game before he was 0 for 3. The game before that he was 2 for 7. The game before that he was also 2 for 7. Since he's come back from injury, he hasn't had one game where he shot even 30% from 3. Not one. And 30% is not even a good number. And this team is way too reliant on his 3-point shooting for my liking. Because if he's not making his threes, who else is going to be coming off those screens? I mean, Tyler was good tonight, but even he was 3 for 7 from 3. And yeah, I mean, that's the story. Rozier didn't play that well. I know he had a neck injury. He didn't play that well at all. Highsmith missed his only 3. Kevin Love missed his 3. Jovic actually played well to me. I thought him and Jimmy were the two best players in the court. Bam, for some reason, took 4 threes. I mean, I know you can make them now, Bam, but 4 threes? Come on, man. I understand we want you to shoot them, but 4 threes is kind of crazy to me. And Caleb, I thought Caleb was good too. Caleb, Jimmy, Jovic, and Bam to a certain extent, and Tyler, I guess. Those 5 players, apart from that, we just had no contributions from anybody. And they had contributions from TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese, Nesmith, Turner, Nembhard. I mean, they had contributions from almost everyone on their team. So that's the game right there. And we're on to the next one against, I believe we play Atlanta next. Do we play Atlanta on... I don't think there's games tomorrow because tomorrow's the national championship game, but we play Atlanta on Tuesday. And then we play Dallas on Wednesday night. That's going to be fun because that's an ESPN game. We have to win out. We just have no other option. I mean, if we lose another game, we're basically out of the 6th seed. So, yeah, we really have no other option besides just win the next 4 of our games against Toronto, twice, Dallas, and Atlanta. And yeah, you know, apart from that, like if we don't win any, if we lose any of those games, then we're basically a lock for the play-in spot. And it's just something that it's unfortunate, but it's something we're gonna have to deal with because we brought it upon ourselves with our how we played tonight in the first half. It was terrible. So that's the story, man. That's the story. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Listen, I mean, it's really frustrating. I'm always gonna be with this team, but it's just really frustrating the way they play sometimes. Like, you know, they can do better. Like, we've seen them reach heights that, like, only a few teams in the NBA have reached heights like the Heat have. Like, there's only one team that has been to the NBA Finals. What was it? 2 out of the last 4 years, and that team is the Heat. That team is the Heat. So we have been to more finals than any team has in the NBA in the last 4 years. Fans are disappointed because we know this team can do better. On paper, this seems to be the most talented roster that Eric Spoelstra has coached in the Jimmy Butler era. Unfortunately, games are not won on paper. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, they seem to need something like a 20-point deficit in order for them to wake up every single game. They can't ever start off games hot. They can't hold leads. They are second to last in clutch offense in the NBA. So they can't close out games. And they just have these moments where it's like they make very stupid decisions, and it's like, come on, you're like the Heat are better than this, man. We're not the Pistons or the Rockets or the Wizards, or no disrespect, but I mean, the Miami Heat, like I said, have been the most successful team in the NBA over the last 4 years as far as playoff wins and finals appearances. So we know they can do better. We know they can do better. That's why we're getting on them, because it's like, bro, like, y'all are playing us right now with this performance. But yeah, man, we're going to wrap it up there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. Go check out the second channel in the description. I'm going to be posting a video there tomorrow. Go check that out. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to see y'all later as always. Peace.